Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals. Welcome back to my channel. This is a bit of a different look for a video, but I haven't done a page spread in my journal yet about this very meaningful symbol for me, the Rubik's Cube, and I thought to go with the monthly prompts for this month of May. Our theme is favourites, and I thought to add to the list of favourites, we could add a favourite symbol. And the Rubik's Cube has become one of my favourite symbols. So I've just got one of my cubes here in front of me, and I will solve it throughout this video as I just chat about the meaning behind it, and maybe it gives you some ideas and inspiration for meaningful symbols in your own life that maybe you want to journal about. So let me tell you my story about the Rubik's Cube. So I always thought the Rubik's Cube was pretty cool, but I never ever thought in a million years that I would be able to solve one. And then I was at a camp once, and a few years ago now, and this guy called Luke brought a whole bunch of Rubik's Cubes. There were maybe almost 10 Rubik's Cubes, and he was a master at it. He could not only solve a cube in like seconds, pretty much, he could also move the cube into any position at all. So he could set up the cube any which way, he would just do it in seconds as well. And I was just amazed. His fingers would move so fast, the blocks and the colours would move so fast, and I would be just in awe. And I would look at it and go, that's amazing, but I'll never be able to do that. And he was teaching people just for fun, you know, have a bit of spare time in the day, and he would teach people. So over the course of, it was about almost a 2-week camp, he taught quite a lot of people actually, and I would watch him over the days teach different people in relatively quick time. And so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe it's actually doable to learn this thing in a reasonable amount of time. And so one day, in a bit of free time, I was a bit bored, and I was thinking, okay, let's just give this cube a go, because I didn't actually really want to. Part of me wanted to because I thought it'd be cool to solve a cube, but part of me was just like, I'm never going to get this. This is too hard, too complicated. Honestly, when I looked at everyone flicking the cube and moving it around, it just looks like quantum physics for me. It may as well have been quantum physics, just something that I think is really cool and interesting, and I would love to wrap my head around, but the moment I try, the moment I get lost, and I feel like I'm losing my grasp on things. So I was very nervous, very nervous about trying this. I thought I would just get frustrated, and I would my mind would go to mush. But slowly over the course of 2 days, my teacher Luke walked me through 7 steps to solve the cube. I did the first 5 on the first day, and then the last 2 on the second day. And I remember at night, as I lay in bed, I would move my hands in the air and just visualize the steps so that I could put them in order and make sure I had memorized them and all that thing. And it was really I don't know, it was an interesting time for me. It was an interesting lesson for me. I had to first spend some time with the cube, just getting used to how it worked, how it moved, understanding it, and then with the steps, it then did become more about memory and putting them together. Some steps I found a lot more difficult than others, a lot more involved, longer steps. But my teacher was fantastic. He would set up the cubes for me because there were like so many there. He would just set them all up for me in different places, in different steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And I would pick up each cube, solve it from the place that he would set it up for me. And there were points where I got stuck. There were points where I forgot which step I was up to. There were points where I would often repeat the same step. And I'd turn to him and be like, Luke, I don't understand. I can't get past this step. And he said, show me what you're doing. And he's like, have you done this step before? I'm like, oh, right, okay. So just realizing where I was up to in the steps, that was a big point for me, like a struggle point. But as soon as he said that, it helped me to be aware of where I slipped up. Anyway, so yeah, he was such a great teacher every step of the way, no pun intended. He would just walk me through it, and sometimes I'll be like, Luke, I don't know what to do, rescue me. And he would be like, just think about it, where are you up to? And he wouldn't help me, he would just let me figure it out on my own, and that was very, very helpful. By not helping me, he was helping me. I have this thing with I would be afraid to ask for help as well, because I didn't want to appear dumb or stupid, but he was just so kind and so gracious, and was like, he was never impatient with me, like, shouldn't you know this by now, or come on, how many times do I have to tell you? No, he never did that. He just patiently, every single time I got stuck, showed me again, or trusted me to be able to work it out on my own. And he knew which one of those two options to leave me with, whether to let me work it out on my own, or to, okay, no, she needs a bit of help, I'll show her. And then my final test was, he set up the cubes backwards from step 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I worked my way backwards, and this was just to make sure I not only knew the individual steps, but that I could put them together in order and have it memorized. So, because he would teach me each step individually, and then what would happen often was I would forget the previous step, because I'm like, okay, I've got to memorize this step, and then I'd forget the one earlier. So this test allowed me to string them all together and have them all in my mind. And once I completed that test, oh my goodness, the world knew. I was just ecstatic. I was yelling from the top of my lungs, I can solve a Rubik's Cube! Because to me, I just was in awe. Like, I could not believe that I could do this thing that to me was so hard and difficult and looks like quantum physics to me. And, everyone else took it in stride. All the other people that he taught were just like, oh yeah, I can do a cube. Moving on. For me, I'm like, no, this was the biggest thing in my life for so long. And why this cube became a symbol, because, I don't know, it did something for my perspective. It was a life lesson for me. It wasn't just the cube. It was a lesson in, so many things in, I guess the main one is that the impossible is possible, that you can do things that you never thought you could do. Don't limit yourself, and just dream a bit bigger, maybe in that way. Like, so the Rubik's Cube became a metaphor for just not placing those limitations on yourself, and that the way you think about yourself, about life, about the world isn't necessarily true. Go out and try some things, and you might get your perspective changed. You might be changed. Your capacities and abilities and all of that can also grow and expand and change. And I just saw the value and just the amazing ways of my Rubik's Cube teacher. Just, that was, the perfect way to teach, I thought. Just the way... there was never any impatience or judgment or anything, and there wasn't always just rescuing all the time. There was trust there. You're allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes were fine. Mistakes were expected, and you weren't shamed for them. You could just learn in your own time at your own pace, and he would be there if you needed him, but he also trusted you that you could work this out as well. And that trust, that belief, helped me to believe that I could do it too. Because, even as I ventured on this journey of trying to solve the cube, like all the steps along the way, I was still thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Step 5, I'm like, I still don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. But he was utterly confident that I would be able to do it. And that goes a long way. So, I know it taught me about how to be a good teacher, I suppose, and what perspective to take into it, to always believe in the person and be unwavering in that, and I don't know, just so much. This Rubik's Cube also symbolises for me a way to see God and how he is the master teacher, the genius teacher as well, and how he is the one who believes in us, and he will be unwavering no matter how many times we make mistakes. He will never shame us for them. He expects them on the journey. He allows for them and just says, keep going, let's go, next step, get up, next step. And he will hold our hand, and he'll always be there whenever we need to turn to him for help. Sometimes he will help directly, other times he'll be like, no, you got this, you've got this, I trust you. And he trusts us on this journey, and I love that, because sometimes we don't trust ourselves. Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves, but he'll always be there believing in us and trusting in us, never shaming us, showing us the way as well. And yeah, I just love that he is the ultimate teacher, and that I got such a great earthly example of what that looks like, and how we can reflect that too in how we can walk alongside people and work with people, believing in people and helping people and trusting in people, giving them grace, allowing them to make mistakes and all of that kind of thing. And also how I see this applying to God is how, just those limitations I can place on myself, thinking, oh no, I can't do that, or no way, that's too scary, or I've got no concept of, I might want to do that, but I don't think I can. I have no concept of how I can go from here to there. But when you journey with God, wow, when I look back, there are so many things he's got me doing that I never, ever thought I would do or could do. And it's, often been a long journey. It's often been very rocky with a lot of fear and a lot of mistakes along the way. But when I look back and I just see how far he's taken me and the changes and growth in me, doing things I never thought I would do, it just blows my mind. Let me give an example of that. Having a YouTube channel, never ever in a million years thought I would do that. My background, a lot of you know it, I grew up thinking that my purpose in life was to be silent and invisible. So I kept everything inside, and would be too afraid of anything like public speaking or doing a video of myself, sharing stories. I never did anything like that. So to have a YouTube channel is just like the end result of a very, very long journey of slowly opening up, learning, I guess, the value of stories and my own worth and value. And very, very, very long journey. It doesn't just all be like, here it is. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, I'm just in such appreciation of the journey, and how sometimes we can feel a bit stuck or lost, or that it's just we're impatient at how long it's taking, or we just feel like, this is how things are going to be forever. Through the Rubik's Cube and through looking back at my journey with how God has worked in my life, I can just see, I know how far He's taken me, and how that's a template for the future, that there are some things now that I'll be like, oh, I could never do that, or no way, that's too scary, that's too big, or I just can't see myself doing that, or whatever. And He will be like, nope, I see it, it's already done, it's already there. I just gotta get you on the same page and walking this journey. So yeah, I hope that is helpful too. And often, like, when I hear other people say that too, like, oh no, I could never do that, in my mind I already see it. I'm like, no, you can and I already see it, I know it, and it's just a matter of, I don't know, maybe you going through your own journey, and maybe having me or some people walking alongside you who do believe in you and who can see it already, to help you in those times where you can't see it yourself. But yeah, it's like, it's already there, it's already done. And yeah, I don't know, so I don't want to go on too long with this video now. You've seen me, I don't know, work on this cube a lot now, but every now and then, he actually sent me this cube as a gift. It's a speed cube, so I was this is why it looks a bit different to the normal cube that you might be familiar with. So again, I was very chuffed, I was very proud that I am now the owner of a speed cube. As you can see, I'm not very speedy. I'm still slow, but I don't care because I can do it. And I every now and then will pick it up and just do it again just to make sure I don't forget the steps. I also have written them down though, just in case I leave it too long. So I wrote out the steps for myself to follow. But my cube sits in my room in like a pride of place area on a shelf, so that I can always see it and be reminded of this lesson that the impossible is possible, the lessons of how to be a good teacher, the lessons of believing in people, believing in yourself, and seeing where you can go, I suppose. So I hope that's encouraging for you as well, because the same goes for you. You can do the impossible. Don't limit yourself. I believe in you. And yeah, so I hope that was encouraging, and I definitely do want to do a page spread in my journal about this. Let me know in the comments maybe what some symbols are meaningful to you, and if you want to share that story, feel free to share that. I just love stories, and I love learning from everything. So that was a story, and I hope that was encouraging. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. And hang on, I want to end this video where it's actually solved. It's almost there. I think I'm about on the last, no, I'm on this is called the 7th step, even though this isn't the 7th step. It's called the 7th step because you make a 7 halfway in the step. Okay, now I'm at the last step. This is step 7, and here we go. Woo! So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.